Batista family is basically the Brazilian mafia.
They can knock you out of this industry in 2 seconds.
I do millions of dollars worth of business. I like to live a pretty good lifestyle. In case this damn Rolex ever breaks, I won't be able to.
Hey, there you go.
Scott. And then let's this reminds me of the David Delighton body part video from remember that one from 2015? The Planned Parenthood senior executive has been caught bragging about selling aborted baby body parts, saying she wants a Lamborghini. Now, I'm not saying that what this guy's doing is selling aborted baby body parts, but I just thought it was interesting. If we can we load that in and play that right now, just to remind our audience that there's this element of greed that's pervasive in every story that we do here at Citizen Journalism Foundation. I kind of think that's what Greg, you're alluding to, but can we play that clip from 2015?
It's been years since I've talked about compensation, so let me just figure out what others are getting at. If this is in the ballpark, then that's fine. If it's still low, then we can talk about it.
You would. What would you?
I want a Lamborghini. I said I want a Lamborghini.
Don't we all, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I want a Lamborghini. That's why I'm going to sell my aborted baby body parts. Let's go back to this guy in the cattle conference in Nashville, Tennessee, selling to a big monopoly firm, selling its beef, saying, "Yeah, you got to keep up with the Joneses. I have to make my money. I need my Rolex." I think the exact word he said is, "I need to keep my head above water." Let's play that again.
Hey, there you go.
Scott acknowledges he has to go along with this if he wants to keep his Rolex. It's all about money.
Do I enjoy selling them to him? Not really, but I'm like anybody else. I gotta keep my head above.
Interesting. Well, a little bit of honesty there. And I guess that's not a commentary on beef. It's a commentary on human nature. Your reaction to that?
You know, I thought he was very honest. I mean, he's obviously making a good living, and he plays the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's kind of like, I was in Nicaragua and I got pulled over. Did I want to give the police officer, 100 Cordovas so I can keep going, or did I want to make my airplane?
Yeah.
That's the environment that's created, and it's everybody. First of all, that cattle conference, there were no producers there. I was a very rare producer. It's $1,500 a day to get a ticket in there. There were all those people provide work. They all work for the industry, But the cattle guy, they weren't there. The cattle guy's not gonna. Me and my wife to go there. That's $1,500 a day. I mean, that's 2 calves a day to go enjoy that. I mean, that wasn't that great of a conference.
Plus the opportunity cost of you not working and not doing the job as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just think the producers are getting really tired of everybody blaming us for everything. I mean, when I grew up, you could buy a baler for $10,000, a tractor for $15,000, bring your own hay in. A hay baler now is $100,000, $85,000. I mean, tractors are $120 plus. Price of fuel. I mean, our inputs are very expensive. We have the best cattle in the world and raise the greatest beef. But the problem is, you have to have a fair discovery. They need to open this up where we have 10 different people to bid on the animals, that we're able to have a lot of smaller processing places. The fix is not that hard. It just somebody's going to have the balls to do it.
What should that man that we saw in the video, what would be the virtuous thing for him to do? He's like, I don't like selling to JBS. What should he do on a moral level?
What he should do is he should take his cattle in his yard. He should take, not all of them, but he should take 20% of them and put them on an open market. All right, even if he took 10% of his animals every week and put them on an open auction, and everybody else did the same thing, that would cripple the cartel. Because then what would happen is you'd have true price discovery. When they put that 10% of his animals on the market, and other people were able to bid on them, you would end up having $1 or $2.50 or $2.80 or whatever they came up with. They wouldn't be able to come to them privately and say, we're only going to give you $2.40, because that would set the market.
One more question for you. In terms of solutions, the DOJ is investigating what should be done from a public policy level in the federal government.
You need to open up the processing. Now, if you have these smaller people that want to process, they should only have to have 2 or 3 inspections a year. Say an inspection once a month. I'm not saying they shouldn't have a USDA facility. I'm just saying the overburden and the overwatch on a daily basis is something they need to relax. We have something called custom cut. It's in most states, where I'm able to process 20,000 chickens a year. We do that on our ranch. We never had anybody get sick. They're clean. We're able to custom cut a cow without USDA. If somebody buys a whole cow or half a cow, that works fine. This is very, same meat. We sell a lot of it that way. But they need to open that up where people can do that, because if they don't do that, what happened during COVID is, just think about this. Chinese owns a plant, Brazil. I mean, these are on the BRICS road. I mean, this is the world economy. If 2 or 3 of those plants shut down, they would strangle our business. Brazil is controlling the meat out of Australia now, coming to us. If they shut that switch off, I mean, you're talking proteins. We need to raise our cattle. My son is in his 30s, and he's selling cars in West Palm Beach instead of the cattle business. Why is he doing that? He's doing it because the average rancher right now is 62 years old. It's almost an impossibility to get in the business unless you were given land, you have land to start. But I think if a lot of little people could co-op, get together, money could be available from the U.S. government to build smaller processing, very efficient places. I mean, there's a lot of ways to do it, but we need to have a lot of little people reaching the same goal, not 4 big companies. Think of the bottleneck of that. You have, 500,000 ranchers that go to 50,000 backgrounders that go to 10,000 feedlots that go to 4 companies processing. It doesn't make sense, and that's what we've allowed to happen.
It seems like that solution, the co-opt kind of round table of smaller people, seems to be a common solution in society to solve a lot of society's ails, including perhaps the citizen journalism movement, getting them all to co-opt together. I think that's true of both ranchers and citizen journalists as well.
You're exactly the same. If you're sitting here in an office and you're a journalist and you're doing the right thing, right? But if you band together, your attorneys, your overhead, everything, you're raising money. I mean, this is real press. I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight. I shouldn't say I don't have a dog in the fight. I got cows in the fight, but you have people out there right now that want to do the right thing, just like that guy. But he's set in a world. He's in that swimming pool. Yeah. Or I always like to use the word aquarium, right? But what has to happen? You put a new fish in that aquarium, he's going to get eaten up. But if you move all the rocks and dump that new fish in, they're all looking to figure out where they are. And that's what has to happen. We need to enforce the law of 1921. They need to give...
and that law is what?
What?
1921, what law is that?
Packer law.
Packer law.
They need to, and it's still in the books, they need to break up the Big Four, and that's simple to do.
They being the Department of Justice.
Yeah, but all they have to do is they have to make them, if they said, look, you're going to process 10,000 animals a day at a plant, you need to have 25% of those you have to buy on live discovery. Simple. You can have 75% of them, you can go and do private trade you want, but 25% of that you have to buy on a live auction.
That'd be a federal mandate from the Department of Justice.
That would solve it right there. Simple.
That'd be one solution right there. Well, thank you so much, Greg. Your company, again, which I actually, and Greg didn't pay me to say this, I actually buy from their Painted Quarters. This is local. This is 45 minutes north of here.
Yeah.
And it's good. They have like liver, and they put the liver in the heart, and that's one. Yeah, ground beef. I like the ground beef. That's my favorite thing.
Well, it's important that we keep you alive. You matter.
I mean, health. I mean, they say there's 4 burners in life. There's family, friends, job, and health.
Yes.
Right now, I've only got the time for the job and the health. So health is a serious part of it, in eating, and that this is the very people care about this topic. It's an important. The president cares about the topic.
This is James O'Keefe. You know me for exposing the truth and holding the corrupt elite accountable. But today I want to talk to you about protecting your own freedom, your retirement. Now, gold is soaring above $4,200 an ounce right now and climbing towards $5,000. That's up over 45% this year alone, with silver closing in on $60 an ounce. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and major banks are now forecasting gold between $5,000 and $6,000 within the next 6 to 12 months. And that's why I've partnered with American Independence Gold, a veteran-owned company where proceeds from every sale help support the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. And right now, my followers get a free gold bar with every purchase of $10,000 or more. Go to O'KeefeMediaGold.com, that's O'KeefeMediaGold.com, or call 833-324-4653. That's 888-324-GOLD. This is James O'Keefe, where freedom isn't given, it's secured. This is not financial advice. Consult a professional before making investment decisions.